So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the first in a series of She's the Boss video interviews, and I'm here today with Imani Clough. So Imani, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, the business that you run, and why you started your business in the first place?
So, hi. My business is called Imani Academy, and the aim of our business is to inspire, uplift, and empower girls and young women. And it's all about reminding girls and young women that despite life's challenges, that you are phenomenal 365 days a year. And I have two reasons why I was inspired to start Imani Academy, and the first being voluntary work that I did overseas in West Africa in Togo. And there was in-country volunteers and UK volunteers all working on a youth justice project, and we did various different things within the community. But a lot of the in-country volunteers that I was working alongside, the women were very entrepreneurial. As well as paying for their school fees, they were running their own businesses, they were supporting their families, and that was also whilst fighting against a lot of the gender-based issues within the community. And I just thought I could be doing a lot for the women and the girls in my own community back at home in the UK in a Western context, and doing more for girls and young women regardless. So on my return, I did some work with the youth offending team. I've worked in primary and secondary schools and children's services, working with girls and young women mainly at risk of sexual exploitation, offending, or suffering from low self-esteem, stress management, all those kind of things. And I thought it would be best to put all of that experience and all that knowledge and skill that I've gained from working in the different organisations into a package that I'll be able to deliver one-to-one mentoring and workshops with girls and young women inside those organisations, but also outside, that I'm able to build, connect with a wider audience. And it's called Imani Academy because Imani means faith, and I feel that through faith a better world can be created for girls and young women now and in the future. So that's a bit of a background.
Wow. That's an amazing background. What took you out to West Africa in the first place?
When I graduated from uni, well, whilst I was at uni, a gap year always appealed to me, and doing voluntary work, but I didn't have the confidence to be away for a whole year in another country on my own. And I thought the ICS program, International Citizen Service, was a good program for me, and that was for 3 months. And 3 months I felt would be enough time for me to be able to step out of my comfort zone, build on my own personal development, as well as being a part of a project that's been able to build sustainable projects within the community. And ICS appealed to me in particular because you're working with UK volunteers and volunteers who are volunteering in the country as well, so that once we leave, those projects can still be built upon by the young people in the community, because they're also on the same program as us. And sustainability is a big thing for me, because I don't see the point in UK people from the Western world going over to another country, doing all this voluntary work, getting all this funding to do it, when actually the people in the community can probably do it themselves. So I thought it'd probably be best to do something in partnership with and still have an impact. So that's really why I chose to do it, because I was still able to do some voluntary work, just not for a whole year.
Well, yeah, it's brave, very brave of you. I always had this dream of going to Camp America, and I never did. So kudos to you for actually biting the bullet and going out there and doing it. And how long have you ran your business for?
It's been a year. It was a year in June, so we're still in the very early stages of building and growth.
And what has been the biggest challenge that you faced so far?
Biggest challenge has been balancing work and moving from different jobs to try and make Imani Academy something that I do full time. So understanding that running a business isn't something that just happens overnight. You have to wear many different hats, and understanding that it's small steps towards waving the white flag in the world of work before you can go at this and do this full time. So that's one challenge. And another challenge would be, because I'm quite young, other people taking me seriously and understanding that Imani Academy isn't just a hobby for me. It's something that I'm passionate about, and it is a business, and I do mean business. So even though sometimes it works against me, I think it does work in my favor as well sometimes, because I've been able to connect and collaborate with other entrepreneurial young women, and I don't think I'd have been able to do that if I wasn't doing that now. So timing is everything, and everything happens for a reason. And I think the journey that I'm on now has led me to connect with all these different entrepreneurial young women who fall into the same age bracket as me. Also, I'm quite young now, but sometimes I wonder if I'd waited longer, so maybe 3 years from now, would I even have the same passion for it? Would other things get in the way? Would life get in the way? And there's all sorts of different things I think, would I be doing it? So it's all those kind of things, without telling everyone my age, all the 30 things before I'm 30. So it's all those kind of things that kind of niggle at you sometimes, and you think this is the right time for you to be doing it. It's hard, but now probably is the right time before other things in life not get in the way, but take more priority.
And what would you say was the biggest, so obviously you went off to West Africa and that was kind of one of the motivations for you starting the business, but what was the actual catalyst? What was the moment when you said, actually, I'm going to register a business and I'm really going to do this?
When I came back from Togo, I feel like I got more culture shock when I came back than when I went there. So when I came back, I had more of a realization. I felt like I could see clearer to what the issues were I actually wanted to tackle, because I'd been sitting on different ideas and had things written down, but hadn't been able to formulate it into something meaningful. So I wrote what I thought was a business plan. It wasn't a business plan. It was just it was just a lot of words and notes in like a essay format, because I'd been institutionalized by education. So everything was just in essay, but it made sense to me. And then I went on don't know if you've heard of Beat Freaks.
Yeah.
They had a Powered By program, which was basically working with young people who had different creative ideas and projects that they wanted to build on. And I went there for every Monday evening from 6 till 9 p.m. for about 6 months, and that was my routine every Monday. I'd go there and I'd work with them on my business plan and my ideas, and then they encouraged me to put in a business proposal funding application to get some funding from Unlimited, and Unlimited funded me to do several pilot workshops. And that was where I thought, okay, there are people that believe in the idea, and it's more than just an idea, it's meaningful. So that's what encouraged me to keep going and make that first step into getting some funding.
So talk me through kind of how you felt. You registered the business, you continued working, but you now have a business. What did that feel like?
Well, actually, I missed out a small section, because once I'd got the funding, I did the pilot workshops, and then all the stuff around marketing, PR, finance, accounting, all that kind of stuff. My head doesn't work in numbers. My head's very creative, but numbers and all that kind of stuff isn't for me. So then I signed up onto another program called Be Seen.
Oh yeah.
Through Aston University, and managed to get more funding through them, but also office space. And having office space was important for me, because when you're working from home, because I'd changed jobs, so I'd left working in education to work within children's services, but the role is home-based, so I have more flexibility around my work and my hours, so I can manage my time a lot better. Because when you're in a school finishes at 3:30, but that doesn't mean I do. So we don't have that flexibility to be able to manage my time. So being able to work from home balances things out a bit. So having this office space at Be Seen that means I know that that's my work time. So if I know that I'm going into the office that day, it's a better way for me to manage my time. So managing my time has been a big thing, and having the additional support from BC when haven't had the answers for stuff around accounting and finance and all those kind of things, where I can get that support from them because they have the connections and they can point me in the right direction. And we did a boot camp for 5 days around all of that kind of stuff. So that definitely helped. I was actually quite overwhelmed. At first, when I registered the business, I thought, okay, it's Imani Academy, and now it's just got extra letters at the end to say that it's registered now. But then I thought, oh, so now I have to think about when am I actually going to start trading, understanding how much do I charge, all these kind of things, looking at different ways that I can market myself, how am I going to reach out to different people, all these kind of things started to overwhelm me, but in small, like drips. And I was just like, okay, this means more work now. Mom's been a big supporter, and she kind of gives me that extra push to keep going and reminding me about all the different aspects of business as someone who's been self-employed herself.
So your mom was self-employed, so you grown up knowing that it was a possibility to be self-employed or to run a business. How impactful do you think that has been on your decision to run your own business?
I think it's been very impactful. Although the world of business is new to me and it's overwhelming, and how much you have to do. And I know running a business isn't easy because I've seen my mum running a business and it's not easy, and being self-employed isn't easy. So I think that's given me reality, and knowing that, obviously my mom's a woman, but women in leadership roles and a management position, that's also inspiring for me, because you see a lot in media in general and around specifically Black women not in management positions and not in leadership roles, and my mom's worked very hard to be in those areas and be there. And if you're not there, you can't do much. It's hard to make change from the bottom. You need to be up there with everybody else. Sometimes it might not be your comfort zone, it might not be the comfortable space that you like being in, but my mom's always told me that sometimes if you can't beat them, you need to join them. So sometimes you do need to join them, and you do need to be that voice for the community, but not in the sense that, not a deficit model, not at the deficit. It's always for a positive, if I'm making any sense.
And what's been for you the hardest thing about being in business? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I don't know how to do finance. It could be anything to do with you personally, personal discoveries or anything like that, or a combination of all the above.
The combination of different things about being in business. Like I said before, I'd say knowledge, expectations as well. I think because once you are putting yourself out there a bit more, and because I'm quite an introvert, I do like to just be in my own space. But when you're running a business, I think, and the type of business that I'm running, you do need to kind of put yourself out there a bit more. So me putting myself out there a bit more has been a big challenge for me. But I think because of the voluntary work that I did in Togo, that was a massive step out of my comfort zone. I've used a lot of that experience and had to draw on what did I do in these situations when I felt like I was being exposed, almost is the word that I can use. So sometimes when you're running a business, I feel like you can be exposed at different points where you don't even expect to be exposed for positive things. So like when I've won awards, or I've been being given a new mentor, all those kind of things, it's positive in the sense that it will build my business forward, but it's also exposure for me, but it's actually exposing me, and that pushes me a lot out of my comfort zone when that's not really my personality type.
Hmm.
So I
So
think that's been
yes, it's kind of meshing up the two. How do I be exposed to promote the business, but I'm not comfortable with exposure? Somehow I have to reconcile the two, and I can see how that could be quite difficult. And also being an introvert, I can definitely see how being an award-winning introvert can create a bit of a dichotomy for you. And to tell us about the awards and the achievements that you've had with the business, because you have done very well. I see you across social media shining. So to tell us some of the biggest achievements you've had in the business.
okay. I'd say because I've really been running the business for a year, I'd say it's been a very good year, and considering I'm only in my first year, a lot's happened in that year. So sometimes I have to kind of check in with myself when it gets hard and remind myself how much I have actually achieved,
Hmm.
and remind myself that you are working hard and it is being noticed and it is being recognized. So I won an award in July, and I was awarded for Inspirational Community Member by West Midlands Police. So West Midlands Police have a Black and Asian Police and Community Awards ceremony, awards evening, and I was nominated by a police officer who I have contact with when I sit on a Caribbean reference group board. So working with the community and the police in partnership to try and tackle any issues that are happening within the community, and building that sense of trust between African and Caribbean community with the police, because as people know that historically the African and Caribbean community don't necessarily have the best relationship with the police, and that goes both ways. So it's been able to speak with the police in a safe space about those issues, and one of the police officers who I work with who I sit with on that board on that reference group, she's aware of the work that I've been doing, and she put me forward for the nomination. And then when it was taken to the board for West Midlands Police, among all the other nominees, they thought I was a worthy winner. So I was invited to the awards evening, and that's when I was awarded for the Inspirational Community Member Award. So that was my first award for Imani Academy, which
Well
was
done. First of many, I'm sure. And
yeah.
what, in terms of you growing Imani Academy, what are some of your biggest dreams, aspirations, the vision for the business over the next kind of 2 to 5 years?
Okay, 2 to 5 might be a bit too soon, but who knows? I would hope, because I'm delivering the one-to-one mentoring and the workshops, I'd like to be able to go back to Togo and meet with some of the in-country volunteers that I worked with, because I still speak to them now on social media and with WhatsApp and all those kind of things. Still trying to work on brushing up my French, because French is the national language in Togo. So I would hope that I'd be able to go back and deliver some female empowerment workshops in Togo, and perhaps do some partnership work with them, because it's almost like a female empowerment community, which sounds really strange, but it's almost like an uprising that's happening in Togo, almost like a shift. And I see it on social media when I speak to them, because I'm still able to have that communication with them. And I think I'd like to be able to work with them and almost like develop a model that would work for the Togolese girls in Togo, and perhaps doing different workshops within the Caribbean, in schools, and working in context though, because I'm very conscious of not using a Western model in other countries, because that just doesn't work. So I'd like to be able to do international work with girls and young women based around empowerment, starting on a positive though, and it's about just reminding women about the phenomenal things that we do and are capable of.
And you are clearly quite phenomenal yourself. But who would you say has been your biggest inspiration in kind of your journey of business, self-development, leadership, female empowerment?
I think a number of people. I come from a strong line of matriarchal women in my family. So my mom definitely is a big inspiration for me in terms of leadership and management and balance of life and everything, because she spins a lot of plates but still manages to keep everything zen, which is a good thing, because balance is key. So I think my mom's definitely an inspiration. And recently, a lot of the circles that I'm in at the moment, and I think I'm inspired by the people that I am collaborating and working with. They inspire me because we're all at different stages of our entrepreneurial journeys, but it's just amazing to watch everybody achieve things and grow and go from strength to strength, and just watching people change in their personal journeys and watching their growth and development as individuals as well as their business. So I'm inspired by the people that I'm around as well. And I think another big inspiration for me would have been a mentor that I had when I was at school. Because sometimes I think if she hadn't been my mentor at school, would I have been able to overcome some of the challenges that I had and step into a world of self-belief and rather than self-doubt? And I think she encouraged me and gave me that support that I needed at that time in my life, because I think when you're around the age of 14, 15, it can be tricky. And especially because I had bereavement counselling as well when my granddad passed away. And I think because the death of my granddad was a big thing for me. I was very, very close to my granddad, and if I didn't have her as a mentor, I'm not sure if I would have been able to go on to do all the different things that I did do after that. So I think she's a big cog in that wheel of change in my journey.
What would you say has been the biggest lesson you've learned since starting a business?
I come back to time, because I honestly, when I set out my business, I had my vision board ready, and although I've achieved many things on my vision board, I think the most unrealistic one was thinking that I would quit my job, and within 6 months I'd be running Imani Academy and being able to live. But that is not true, because you can't live on just fresh air and water. That's just not how it is. So, I think it's understanding that it takes time and it's about balance. And I'm a big advocate for self-care and checking in with myself and kind of being the best of me. And I can only be the best of me if I take care of me. So it's remembering that I do need to just take a step back sometimes and chill, because I can't do the best work that I would like to do if I'm not all in tune with myself.
What does your self-care, if you don't mind me delving deeper, what does your self-care kind of process look like?
My self-care process. Well, every day I have a long to-do list as it is, but on my to-do list, I have to schedule in self-care in there somewhere. And that self-care is an hour a day. So that hour a day is doing something totally unrelated to my work, my uni work, everything. It's about just being by myself, whether that be me meditating. I can't always meditate because I can't always switch off. So I don't try and hold myself to, oh, you didn't meditate today. But sometimes it might just be burning my incense. At the moment, I've been burning a lot of sandalwood to just calm down for a bit. And that could just literally be me sitting in my room and just listening to music. That's literally it. It's not anything big. Or cooking for the rest of the week is also self-care, because if I'm eating crap, then that's not good. So cooking and having that time for myself with burning my incense and listening to music, that's my self-care.
You're making me feel like I'm not taking care of myself an hour a day. I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. I wish I had 5 minutes.
If I don't do that hour, it doesn't even have to be right before I go to bed. It just needs to be at least 1 hour where I'm not looking at my phone, not scrolling through social media, not having somebody else talking in my ear, not listening to other people's stresses. It just needs to be an hour where I'm actually doing nothing.
Mhm. And what are you most looking forward to about running a successful business? Like, is there anything you think, and this is separate just from the general vision, but is there anything you think, I just can't wait for that?
I can't wait for the day where I'm actually, there's this phrase, I can't remember where I saw it, but there's a quote that says, the queen of my own diary.
Mm-hmm.
So that day where I can officially say, yep, I am the queen of my own diary. So next month, on annual leave, and I'll be okay, and I'm going abroad, and I don't need to be interrupted by anything. So the day that I can just say, yep, I'm the queen of my own diary, I'm going on holiday, this is when I'm back, and then it might be in another country where I'm delivering some work. Just being able to have that international work life setup of being a global citizen.
Yes, I like that. 3 pieces of advice you'd give to somebody just about to embark on their business journey.
Have clear, short and long-term goals. Don't put yourself under too much pressure if you don't achieve everything in the time scale that you would have liked. And 3, always remember your small victories. So every day, always find something that has gone well in that day, because sometimes you can get caught in the hamster wheel and you just keep going and going and going and going and going. And before you know it, you're like 6 months in and you haven't really taken the time to step back and look at your achievements or what you've done. So I think recognize the small victories would be number 1, and more short-term goals, and don't be too hard on yourself.
I think that's really very useful advice. And if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about what you do, about Imani Academy, how can they go about doing that?
Yep, they can follow me on Instagram, which is Imani_Academy. They can get me on Twitter, which is the Imani Academy, and they can get us on Facebook, which is the Imani Academy, and on our website, which is imaniacademy.weebly.com, and you can find us all there.
Thank you so much. I wish you every success in the future of your business. I have no doubt that you're going to be a great success. And thank you to everybody that's watched. There will be more She's the Boss interviews coming up throughout the rest of the year and the beginning of next year. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have definitely enjoyed speaking to you today, Imani. And thank you.
Thank you.